What do you think of when you hear the word theater? Does it make you think of music, showmanship, or even evoke a sense of joy in you? We answered yes to all of those questions, and by the end of the night, you just might too. I'm Gillian Mencken, and welcome to ShowGoers. Theater has always been a staple of college life, and it's a craft that we feel doesn't get the attention that it deserves. So tonight, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the impact theater has on campus, how it's taught, practiced, and carried on into the future of students in their everyday lives. Let's start off by visiting Memorial Auditorium to hear Professor Paris Pete's thoughts on why theater is an art form unlike any other.
Theater is really important. I think the notion of people coming together as a community in the presence of each other, the real presence, not the virtual reality, but actual reality, and listening to a story together with real performers, and the sense that you can feel the performance, you can, everybody's, you know, I mean, you can, the effect of that is really tangible to an audience, and when it works, when it kind of captivates our imaginations, we are engaged with the story. The way that we respond as a community is kind of great. And there's not really anything like it. So I think the live aspect of it is good. I like it better than team sports because you don't have an adversary. You just get to work with people, and trying to make something together. And I think that's great.
In a world dominated by movies, TV, and internet streaming, theater must constantly evolve to reach a younger demographic, and nothing bridged that gap quite as well as Shippensburg's Little Princess Playhouse. We sat down with Brittany Newland to hear more about it.
It's really cool when kids, make that connection with you that really don't know them, but we had a bond over something much greater than ourselves. Now, without children's theater, I don't really think there is that huge pull-in from kids outside of maybe Grace B. Lohr's. So the fact that this was an extension of our campus to the whole Shippensburg community, I think really gave something that not a lot of other schools had to offer to their communities.
Newland later touched on how she believes theater makes such an impact on society as a whole.
I definitely think theater gives a platform for people to kind of present on in a much lighter way. They can talk about what they're passionate about. They can deliver important morals into society without, standing there on their soapbox. It's much more lighthearted when, you learn a lesson from a character that you've grown to love through Disney or something like that. So I just think that, having theater gives this platform that would be lacking in society if it goes to the wayside.
Oh, what fun. I thought it was great. Anyway, when we come back, let's take a look at what is going on campus.
Has this ever happened to you? You're failing your test and your study habits just aren't working.
Yeah, I do have those problems, but where do I go to fix them?
Well, come on down to the Student Success Center. With a study lounge, one-on-one tutoring, and a staff that is eager to help, this center will help you get the grades you want.
Thanks, Student Success Center.
Located in Old Maori next to the Cub, make your appointment today.
From the student view, campus police issue parking and speeding tickets, but behind the scenes, they're here for so much more. If you're on campus late at night, the police will happily walk you back to your dorm safely. In a state of distress, use any of the 30 emergency telephones across campus. The state-trained officers are prepared for all emergencies, including evacuation procedures and an active shooter event. To contact the University Police, visit ship.edu/police or call the number on the screen.
With the fall semester halfway over, Shippensburg has been busy putting on dozens of productions. Let's take a look at the one that kicked everything off, 21 Chump Street. Lin-Manuel Miranda is known for his musical works, Hamilton and In the Heights, but what of his lesser-known productions? Thanks to Act 5 Theater Company, Miranda's smaller works have the chance to come to life. Similar to the hit movie 21 Jump Street, this small group of actors will be performing 21 Chump Street.
Yeah, so he did it between In the Heights and Hamilton. Not many people knew about it, but after Hamilton became a huge success, they looked him up, they found it, and now this show has taken off.
Although the show is only 15 minutes, it sends a powerful message about the dangers of marijuana. But of course, adds a little comedy,
I only got 6
dance,
I filmed it.
and hip-hop along the way.
Yo, what is up with this fuss and this isn't up for discussion, this is
our cousin coming to us. He's a blood.
and we love it.
When asked how excited he was about the show, lead actor Justin Persichetti was at a loss for words, but did quote the cast's secret slogan.
Hugs, not drugs. What the heck we gotta do to get you to come see this show?
For SUTV Entertainment, I'm Gillian Mencken. Dr. Frankenfurter and his servants took the Cup by storm this Halloween when Act 5 performed the strangely charming spectacle that is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Act 5's annual Rocky Horror Picture Show has come and gone once more. Continuing the tradition of performing the fan-favorite lip-sung musical, this year's show can be marked off as another success. With its iconic songs, sassy costumes, and bizarre themes, both performances brought in a total of 580 participants. For those unfamiliar with the show, it tells the story of two newlyweds who come face to face with some extraordinary and strange extraterrestrials. It is also not just an ordinary musical. It is completely lip-sung by the actors as the movie plays on behind them. The audience also has the chance to become part of the experience.
The audience is encouraged to shout things at the actors and will even be given props, such as newspapers, to use during the performance.
When asked for comment, cast members Debbie Bates and Gabby Rotel explained just how exciting the show truly is.
It's just so much fun. There's just great music. It's just a great time. You can get up and dance with us, do the time warp again.
You get to interact with the actors. It's awesome.
While the show won't be performed for another year, one thing's for sure, SHIP students can't wait to do the time warp again. This just in. There's been a mystery at Memorial Auditorium and everyone is a suspect. We took a sneak peek at the up-and-coming fall production of Clue.
In order to figure out who the killer is, I think we should start at the beginning. Sometimes the best course of action is right under our nose.
6 suspects, 6 murders, and a struggle to find the killer before time runs out. The Act 5 fall play Clue promises to entrance its audience in a night of mystery, intrigue, and a little bit of comedy thrown into the mix as well. The story follows a group of dinner guests locked in a dilapidated mansion after a dinner party goes horribly wrong. We asked director Hannah Famulari how the experience of directing her first show has been.
It's so much fun. I've only ever been on stage to this point. I've done some stuff, other stuff backstage, but this is my first time putting the whole visual together. But it's been pretty exciting. I've been super prepared. There's always those little things, but it's always like, we've been really good with like keeping on track. We've often been ahead, and it makes my job even more easy, especially with my wonderful cast. So.
Famulari also gave us her thoughts on why she believes that theater is so important.
You never know who's in the audience. You never know who that one person is who can be impacted by whatever's happening on stage, whether it's someone that just really needs a good laugh or maybe a good cry or just maybe they need to hear something or they need to feel something, because a lot of theater pertains to the world and like messages that people need to feel. And it's that moment when you're on stage and you're just talking to the audience and they just feel it, like that interaction. They may not respond, but you know they're listening.
Clue premieres on November 15th. Michael Smith, SUTV News.
We might be right in the middle of fall, but Act 5 has already begun casting for this year's spring musical, Mamma Mia. We sat down with Assistant Director Marissa Kaiser to learn more about how she and Director Mallory Kravitz chose this musical.
Really, it's up to the membership. We let them give us a top 30. eBoard narrows it down to a top 10. We give them top 5. We let membership vote from that top 5 down to 3, and then from the 3, me and Mallory pick the number 1.
Kaiser also expressed how excited she was for the show, and also how she expects a huge turnout for auditions coming up.
Well, Mamma Mia is a pretty popular musical. The songs are by ABBA. It's a pretty fun show, actually. There are a lot of opportunities for roles and parts. So I think we'll have a very good turnout, and I'm very excited to see who comes out and auditions for this show. If you enjoy having a good time and having fun, then yes, I think you should be very excited, because we're going to put on a bomb show.
When we come back, we'll take a look at how people have furthered their entertainment careers after Shippensburg. Stay tuned.
Attention all students. Are you having trouble with any of your tech? If the answer is yes, head over to the technical support desk. Whether you need your computer diagnosed, cleaned out, help installing something, or you just want to come and hang out, the friendly faces at the tech desk are here to help. Located in the Ezra Lehman Memorial Library, stop by for any of your tech-related questions.
Need help in classes? The Learning Center has a solution. Now located in Mowry Hall, the Learning Center has tutors who can give you help with classwork, writing skills, and studying skills. The Learning Center is Shippensburg's primary academic resource center and is available to all students, so don't be afraid to call in.
Learning Center, this is Dashawn speaking. How can I help you?
To set up an appointment, call the number on your screen. This is a public service message by SUTV.
Last block of the show, we wanted to take a look at how both current and former Shippensburg students have taken their theater careers to the next level. This first Ship student is making her debut on the big screen. Recent Ship graduate Hallie Shank landed a role as an extra in the up-and-coming season of House of Cards. Shank began her career as a model and would constantly send out her resume with high hopes of landing a job. She explains that she is no stranger to rejection, but used the setbacks to fuel her determination. Her opportunity finally arose when she received a call from the show's producer. Before she knew it, she was in costume, on set, and meeting the show's iconic characters. Finally getting into the business, Shank hopes to continue her acting with bigger productions and urges everyone to watch House of Cards Season 6 when it premieres this November. This next Ship student talked to us about how theater inspired him to further his own music career and to produce his own album on SoundCloud. We spoke with Nick McKim, also known as Nicholas, the 5-cent piece, the coin I have the least, to learn about how he used his Shippensburg experience to accomplish this goal.
Unique, something that's funny, because like my songs are meant to like be funny, so like most of my acting roles are funny, so like I have to figure out something that's going to like connect with the audience in a humorous way. So I also have to think like that when I'm writing songs. I have to think about like how can I make this come across in a humorous way that my audience is going to be able to connect to it and be like, wow, that's funny, I like that. So it all connects in its own way of being creative and being able to connect with the audience.
Lastly on our show, I am joined here in the studio by Maggie Haynes, who has taken her career to the next level in professional theater. So thank you very much for joining us today, Maggie.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so cute. Well, first off, I understand that you were cast in a professional production of Carrie the Musical.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
So that was at Open Stage Theater of Harrisburg. It's a black box sort of theater, but they are a regional theater up there, and they're located near Strawberry Square, which is like their big town center. It was an amazing experience, mostly being in a horror show as Stephen King's Carrie, but it was probably one of the best shows I've been in. It's my 27th show, so it's definitely like, if it's one of my best, I will say it's something to say. I'm good at it.
And that's wonderful. And how exactly did you come across this? I mean, did you see a flyer for it? Did you hear about it from somebody else?
Last year, I went to go see Fun Home, which is a play all about like the LGBT and just pretty much coming out and like how it is within a family environment. And I saw that show, and it was just absolutely incredible. I saw it with some students here at Shippensburg, and we took a trip up there. And it literally opened my eyes. And like the one girl who was in it, I was like, oh, I want to be her friend. And now we're very good friends because of this theater. But yeah, no, after I saw that show, I was like, I need to be a part of this theater because it's like an up and close experience because the actors are literally like 3 feet away from you doing all this stuff, and you're just like, oh no, like what's going to happen? You get emotionally connected to these characters, and then you're like, oh, and then something happens. You're like, oh, okay, it's fine. But yeah, no, it was fantastic, and I definitely want to work with them again, hopefully next year.
All right, good. And speaking of an emotional connection to the characters, how was it playing the villain in the show?
Wonderful. I enjoyed it so much, too much actually at some points. But the thing is, she's just a misunderstood girl who, my character, her name was Chris Hargensen. And really, her whole point was just to feel like she was the center of attention, because I feel like with her backstory, she was not at her home and stuff like that. And she does it in the worst way possible by making fun of this innocent little girl who already has a bad home life. And it was fun. Of course, it's not really what I would like to present myself in reality, but it was quite fun to have people come up and go, I hated you, but I loved it.
Oh my goodness. Now, I know that you also got to work along Brad Barkdahl, who is an alumni of Shippensburg. So was it nice to have a friendly face that you've known from, I know you've worked with him with 9 to 5 before, so was it nice to have him around?
Yeah, because we became friends through choir here, the Shippensburg choir, which was really great my freshman year, and then he graduated, and so I never got to work with him then, and I was like, oh man, because he's such a fantastic actor. So then he came back as our music director, which he did a phenomenal job with for like just being away for 1 year and then coming back, like, go him. But no, working beside him and having him as like my opposite was so much fun. And how twisted our characters was, it definitely was a challenge for both of us to get into that mindset, but we got to do it together, so it was a lot of fun.
And now, have you seen the movie Carrie?
I have many times now.
Is the musical anything like the movie?
Yes, but it gives more depth to characters because the musical is based on Sue Snell, who is one of the main girls who actually cares about Carrie and is like, oh, I don't want to hurt her and stuff like that. Like, we should be nice to her, guys. But in the musical, it's like a narration of the past because, spoiler alert, if you haven't ever seen Stephen King, a lot of people die in it. And so she has these memories of looking back at it, and like pretty much you see it from her telescope, so to speak, like her perspective of what happened. So you see this characters in Sue's perspective, even though the story's based on Carrie, where in the movie it's just kind of Carrie. So like Chris has some more, like you learn about her character, you learn about Sue, and you learn about Tommy and the other characters within this high school. And for us, since our cast was only of 14 people, you got to do that very easily.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're in class together, and I think I remember you saying that the set for your show was amazing.
The set was done by a man named Ryan, and he also designed our shirts and everything, and he was phenomenal. Just watching the process of how they would do every single thing, down to even the paint, down to the burntness, because what they did was they made the set stationary. It's only one set. Was a burnt down stage because at the very end, spoiler again, the gymnasium burns down. So it stays in the memory of the gymnasium being burned down, but they live their everyday lives. And like, it's so interesting playing on that set, like there's nothing wrong with the set, but like the lockers are all messed up. Like the gymnasium is like burnt, and like, it was quite interesting to even play on as an actor, but to actually see it was so satisfying, including sound and like lighting design was like, it scared me at times. Sometimes, when the first time we ever did it, I was like, oh my goodness. I remember I would see people in the front row going, like looking at their family, like, what do we do? Yeah.
Now, do you have any future plans to continue in professional career or just anything on campus?
I mean, tonight I'm auditioning for Mamma Mia, so that'll be fun because I love my Act 5 family. I very much love them. That's kind of where I started with. I mean, I've been doing it since high school, but I've enjoyed doing it here in Act 5. So I'm going to do that tonight, obviously, so that'll be fun. But then also during the winter, I think I'm trying out for a chorus line, which is a big dance musical down in Frederick. I like to expand kind of where I go and do shows, mostly because like the network aspect. Also, I get to meet incredible people, and I did Spring Awakening in Maryland this summer, and the person who music director was like, you should come back and do this. I'm like, I don't know if I can dance, but yeah. So it'll be a nice experience to try, but I'm very excited for that. Try maybe for Mamma Mia and just, I don't know what the next thing will be professionally or regionally or what kind of gig comes next, but I'm just glad to even just be a part of the stage.
Now, Mamma Mia is a very fun musical, whereas Carrie is scary, gory high school. So do you think it'll be hard to kind of transition from that show to this show?
I mean, I went from 9 to 5, where I played Judy Burnley, who was just hyper all the time and all that stuff, and then went to Spring Awakening and Carrie, which were both dark, so I think it'll be okay. And Mamma Mia, I mean, it's ABBA. Everyone loves ABBA.
That's exactly what Marissa Kaiser told her when we were interviewing her too. Well, listen, Maggie, thank you very much for being here, and I wish you luck with your Mamma Mia and your future endeavors with theater.
Thank you.
And that's all the time we have for tonight. I want to thank everyone for watching, for all the cast and crew that's here tonight, and of course to my wonderful director, Mike Smith, who's in the booth. We hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. You're wonderful.
That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Sorry if I was like normal.